So, ayan. Hello, hello again. Once again, good afternoon again, San Jose. You don't know how excited I am to have you here, and I really do appreciate that. And yeah, later on, I'll be sending you a Google form link to confirm your today's attendance. But before we proceed, I have here a question for you. Um, have you ever watched a movie and felt like you were there or you were there in the action? Or have you ever read a book and felt like you could smell the salty ocean or feel the warmth of the sun on your skin? Can someone? If that's yes, is that a yes? Oh, okay, yes. If you answered yes, then If you answer yes, then you have experienced the power of imagery. So, in this class, we will be exploring the different types of imagery and how to use the imagery effectively in your writing or art, and how to analyze and interpret imagery in the work of others. So, let if I had here a picture, can someone describe to me what it is? Because I don't know what is this. Can someone? Mm-hmm. You can go. Yes, Trisha, go ahead.
It is beautiful and green.
That's correct. How about other example? Okay, as per Jenny, she says here that it is refreshing because it is in the province. Yes, that's correct. That is absolutely what I am looking for. One of those sentences or descriptions that I am looking for. Because we had here because our topic for today is appreciating sensory images. So therefore, describing a word or sentences or pictures to create a vivid images on our mind. Okay, let's check. Okay, the definition of sensory images. It says here that sensory images are mental pictures created by words and phrases that appeals to the reader's senses. So these sensory details evoke sensations related to five senses. So ano ba yung five senses natin? Ito yung sight, smell, taste, sound, and touch. So the first example of this is sight. The first example of sight is the tiny red ant climbed up the broken twig. So what we can imagine if we says that sentence. So we can imagine a tiny red ant which we can usually see in the surroundings, the broken twig when we are in a forest, and such. And next one is smell. The example of it is the sweet smell of freshly baked apple filled the air. So we can vividly imagine what is the smell of the fresh baked apple, di ba? So, may imagine natin kung gaano siya kabango, gaano ko siya kasarap. Tama ba ako? Tama? Okay. And third one is taste. The example of this is one bite of the sour lemon caused my lips to pucker. So, how can we say that this is an example of taste? Because it says here, and the sentence itself, it's stated in here that it is a sour lemon. So, alam naman natin na ang typical na definition kapag sinabi natin na lemon is sour. Dahil wala namang masyadong matamis na lemon. It is bihira. That's right. Yeah, bihira. Fourth one is sound. So, the example of this is the car squeak every time I hit a bump in the road. So we can we can vividly imagine what sound squeak is, right? Just like just like the we're at the squeak squeak. That that's one. Okay. Yeah. And last one is sense of touch. So that will be the example of that is the sharp edge of the paper cut my finger and made it sting. So we can vividly imagine that um we can actually cut ourselves in a paper in the edge of a paper as well. Do you experience that during your earlier years in elementary? Yeah, in elementary most of the time. So yeah, let us proceed on the type of sensory images. Kung nung elementary tayo or nung earlier year level natin, which is in grade 8, grade 7, I believe, because you already, because I can say that you already have a background knowledge about it, or background knowledge about this topic. If in your early level, we and this one is we called it senses, five senses. In this year level, which you are in grade 10, we call it sensory images or imagery. So, what it is? Okay, so this one, it actually has five types. So first is visual. So visual imagery, actually it answers the questions. What would you see? Did you get it? So what would you see? So it focuses on what we see, or our sight, focuses on our sense of sight. So it is commonly the descriptions of colors, shapes, appearances. Do you get my point? So my example of this is the sun-kissed meadow was a sea of golden grass. So we can tell that this is actually indeed a beautiful sight. If the sun-kissed meadow, if natatamaan ng araw yung mga grass kapag sunset na, 'di ba? Look how powerful the sun kissed is on the golden grass that make it a golden grass. So yeah. So and second is types of imagery is auditory imagery. So it answers the questions, what does it sounds like? So it focuses on what we hear, and it focuses on our sense of hearing. Because it is it commonly the descriptions of sounds such as the leaves rustle in the breeze, their soft whistling filling the air. So if we will analyze this sentence that I provided, or this example that I provided, we can imagine this type of imagery in our mind, because that is the focus of it. And the other example of this is a bird that is singing. So if I say that the bird is singing, what do you commonly imagine? What sounds do you commonly imagine in it? 'Di ba? Tweet, tweet, tweet. Because it was commonly the sound of a bird that is singing. Right? So that is auditory imagery. Okay. Do you get my point? Type 1, if you are still here. Let's see. Okay, perfect. Nakikinig talaga sila. So, last one is olfactory. So that focuses on what do you smell. So that is focuses on our nose or our sense of smell. Okay, so olfactory is focuses on our sense of smell, because it commonly describes scents or odors such as, an example of this is the aroma of freshly baked bread, waffen, wafted from the bakery, making my mouth water. So if we if we hear the sentence, we can vividly imagine this picture that I included in here. Am I correct? Or am I wrong? Meron ba sa inyo na nagkamali? Or hindi ganito yung na-imagine? Nung sinabi ko na, the aroma of freshly baked bread wafted from the bakery, making my mouth water. Okay. So, yeah, di ba lahat sa atin. I-imagine ng ganito. Fourth one is what gustatory. Gustatory imagery. This focuses on what would it taste like. So it focuses on our sense of what? Sense of taste. Okay, that's correct. Because it commonly describes the taste that we feel in our mouth. So what would it taste like? And answer the questions, what would it taste like? So an example of this is the ripe juicy peach burst with sweetness on my tongue. Sa Tagalog, masasabi natin na, kung mangga yan, masasabi natin na nakakasima po, ganyan. Ayan, tama. Tama ka dyan, Jenny. I believe in you. Ayan. And lastly is tactile imagery. It focuses on how does it feel? How does it feel? Or it answers the questions, how does it feel? Because it focuses on our sense of what? Sense of touch. That's correct. Because it commonly describes the textures, sensations, and my example of this is the soft fur of the kitten felt warm and comforting against my skin. So it felt soft, right? Okay, I hope you already learned and I hope you already learned about that. Can Cause now we will be going to identify what sensory language that aligns with the following words in this one. Are you ready? Type yes in the comments if you are. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so for this first column, what do you think it is? Because these words determine the category of sensory language that they are in. So it says here light, crowded, peaceful, shiny, shadowy, bright, dim, smudge, glittery, glossy. What do you think this is? What type of imagery is this? Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay. I see that you already see the answer. Yes, that is visual imagery. How about the second one? It is loud, gurgling, quiet, squeaky, thundering, thumping, shrill, cra- crashing, buzzing, and sizzling. What do you think it is? Because this reads, you're correct. Ivan, you're correct, Ivan, that this is sense of hear, our hearing. But in imagery, sensory image, what do we call it? That's right, Jenny. That's right. That would be auditory imagery. How about the third one? It is burnt, rotten, fresh, odorless, musty, floral, smoky, fragrant, stale, and perfumed. What do you think it is? Let's check those answers in the comment section. No one? Yes, it is our sense of smell. But in the sensory image, what do we call it? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, I already see a correct answer here is for Miss Villanueva. That is olfactory imagery. Because olfactory imagery focuses on our sense of smell. Yes, that's right. How about the fourth column? It is sweet, sour, fresh, bitter, sugary, tangy, spicy, minty, fruity, and salty. What do you think it is? Mm-hmm. That's right. Thank you so much for that, Miss Classic. That will be gustatory imagery. That's right. How about the last one? So yeah, yeah, we all know that it is all bonus for this one na because we already know the other answer. So that will be the tactile. So it focuses on our sense of touch. So that will be soft, slimy, hard, bumpy, rough, sticky, fluffy, powdery, and smooth. Let's check the next slide. So, ayan. Ayan, yung mga um, sensory imagery na align sa mga words na diniscuss natin. So, yes. Okay, let us go ahead and test your knowledge. So, we will be going, I'll be sending you a link on the comment section. And please type it in your prompt for you to join. You can go ahead and type your full name for me to record it later on after we are done answering this one. Let me stop sharing my screen for me to go to that link as well. We will be answering that all together. Let's check. Type 1 if you are already on the link. Type 1, please, for me to continue, for me to proceed and share my screen. Okay, let me share my screen. I believe you are already in the link. Let's check. Okay, let us go ahead and answer this all together. So the grapes seem to be blessed with the sun, with the light, with the flavor that no other grape had. This is from the House of the Spirits by Isabel Allende. What do you think it is? Mm-hmm. Once again, that would the grapes seem to be blessed with the sun, with the light, with the flavor that no other grape had. Gustatory, yeah, gustatory. Let me go ahead and try that one. Gustatory imagery it is. That's correct. Who answered that? Raise your hand. Okay, thank you so much for that question. Next, proceed on the second one. The sun was warm and rainy beneath my toes, and the water was cool and refreshing as I waded into the ocean. This is from the story of the old man and the sea by Ernest Hemingway. So, once again, the sun was warm and grainy beneath my toes, and the water was cool and refreshing as I waded into the ocean. That is from the book of The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. Okay, let's see. So yeah, that would be a tactile image. Thank you so much for that, Joseph. Let's check on the third one. So, the roar of the crowd was deafening as the athlete crossed the finish line, triumphantly raising his arm in victory. So this is from the book of The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I believe it has a movie before. Am I right? Did you watch that? Yes, yes. Okay, but what is the answer on this? So the roar of the crowd was deafening as the athlete crossed the finish line, triumphantly raising his arms in victory. The hint is I am highlighting the hint. So what it is? So yes, that is auditory image. That's correct. Let's check. So the fourth question is the sun kept disappearing behind the clouds. Sometimes it would peek out and then duck back in and again. This is from The Catcher in the Rye, one of my favorite books. This is by J.D. Salinger. What do you think it is? The sun kept disappearing behind the clouds. Gustatory? Hmm? Are you sure? Are you sure this is gustatory? Olfactory? Really? Olfactory? Visual. Oh, parehas lang. Same lang sa pala sila. So, I'll be picking in visual imagery. Let's check. Visual imagery. Yes, that's right. Because it says here, the sun kept disappearing behind the clouds. So, we cannot taste or hear this one because we can see it. Okay. And last one is the hallway smell. The hallway smelled of boiled cabbage and old rag mats. This is from 1984 by George Orwell. Mm-hmm. So this is olfactory. Yes, that's right. This is olfactory because this line conveys a sense of decay and neglect. So creating a bleak and oppressive atmosphere. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's submit that. Okay, save and finish. So may I know how many of you can get the correct answer, did get the correct answer? Type hard in the comment section as I call the numbers that you got correct. Okay? How about 5? Who got the perfect score? Madami din. That's right. Very good. 4? Merong tatlo. 3? 2? 1? Perfect. Buti naman wala nang 1. Char. Yeah. Again, thank you so much for that one. Let me share my screen once again. So, ayan. Oh, mali. Ayan. So again, by using sensory images, we can tell that writers can create a more vivid and engaging reading experience for the reader, making the narrative more memorable, impactful, and immersive. And additionally, sensory images or imagery are commonly used in poetry, fiction, and other forms of creative writing. So now, Let us answer once again this one. Let us get this on their correct or respective types of imagery. So the air was thick with wet and cold, and the trees were slippery and hard to hold on to. What type of imagery do you think it is? Again, what type of imagery do you think it is? Mm-hmm. Let's check. Yes, Jenny, that would be tactile. Are you sure? Yes. Oh, okay. Yes, that's correct. Because it focuses on the cold wet. The air was thick and cold wet, which will be focuses on our sense of touch or tactile. How about the second sentence? The sun was like a great visiting presence that stimulated and took its due from all animal energy. The sun was like a great visiting present that stimulated and took its due from all animal energy. Go ahead, Ivan. This will be gustatory. That's correct. This is gustatory because it focuses on what we see. How about the third one? The leaves of the trees murmured overhead like a great sighing. Once again, the leaves of the trees murmured overhead like a great sighing. Auditory. Yes, that's correct. Auditory. Because it focuses on what we hear. How about the sentence number 4? The air was heavy with the scent of growing things. The air was heavy with the scent of growing things. What about this one? Mm-hmm. What do you think it is? Sense of smell. Because that olfactory, yes, olfactory. Oh, for the gustatory, I really do apologize, but it is a visual imagery because it focuses on what we see. Visual imagery focuses on what we see, and the sentences is focuses on what we see. And the lastly is the salty breeze blew in the windows and the curtains flapped and floated in the warm light wind. In the warm light wind. So this is focuses on what we might taste, because it says here the salty breeze blew. It can also be a sense of touch. It can also be a sense of touch. And also it can be a visual imagery. So the last one, the last sentence can be gustatory, visual imagery, and tactile imagery. Okay, very good. I believe you already learned about our topic for today because you've answered a lot of this today, no? So before we end this discussion, I want you first to reflect wh- to which senses were most prominent in the sensory imagery used in the piece. Did one sense stand out more than the others? Why do you think it is? I have here a famous line from Romeo and Juliet, a book by William Shakespeare. I had here just line, a famous line, one of the famous lines in this. Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. Her beauty hangs upon the cheek of night, like a rich jewel in an Ethiope's ear. Can someone raise their hand? Mhm. Go ahead, Jenny. The floor is yours. Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah, yes, that is correct. Thank you so much, Jenny, for answering that questions. Yes, yes, the sensory image in this excerpt from Romeo and Juliet primarily focuses on the sense of sight, which with vivid descriptions of Juliet's beauty. As we can see in this line, the speaker compares Juliet's beauty to torch that burn bright, and the jewels shine brightly against a background. Well, the use of words such as beauty, trick, night, rich, and jewel appeals to the visual sense and helps the reader imagine Juliet's striking appearance. Although other senses such as touch and hearing are not entirely absent from the passage, the sense of sight stands out the most. And lastly, the description of Julia's beauty is also powerful that it seems to dominate the speaker's perceptions of her. So overall, the sense of sight is particularly important in this passage because it highlights the visual impacts of Juliet's beauty and captures the speaker's admirations of her. So yeah, that's all for today. I hope you learned something. Once again, my name is Maricel Sanchez. Again, thank you so much, Grade 10 San Jose, for attending my demo teaching. I really do appreciate that. And I hope we met soon. Okay. Thank you so much. Again, goodbye.